Assalamualaikum and very good day to everyone. We are from Group 5 are going to present about article review if effectiveness of cognitive dissonance in resulting behaviors and decision making. Our group members are consist of 4 members, which including myself, TENGKU ISMAIL bin TENGKU ARIFIN, with my matrix numbers is 287181, and my others members, which is Afiq Amsyar bin SAIFUDDIN, matrix numbers is 288862, and next is NOOR ASMIDA binti Muhammad Noor, with matrix numbers is 288867, and lastly is SHARON DASSLINDA with matrix numbers 289698.
For the introduction, cognitive dissonance theory refers to a situation where people will face a change to their attitude, behavior, or belief. When the situation is not good, it will cause people to have a feeling of mental discomfort and behavioral change, which will lead them to do something to reduce their discomfort and calm themselves down. Cognitive refers to thinking of the mind, and dissonance refers to the inconsistency or conflict. A lot of cognitive dissonance theory is used on individuals that do something to reduce their discomfort or stress. We frequently experience dissonance when presented with two familiar options because they both affect our attitude and perception. This review is about understanding whether cognitive dissonance is suitable for all issues or not.
For the first article review, which is about COVID-19 lockdown technology adoption, teaching, learning, student engagement, and faculty experience by author Veena Shinoy, Navita Vijay, and Sheetal Mahendra from ISBR Business School. So the situation is about the COVID-19 pandemic. India has the largest population in the world, and with the COVID-19 pandemic has spread through the world, they need to find a way to prevent it from spreading. They face many difficulties during this, and one of them are in the education system where they need to use technology to start their teaching lesson. The method that they use is a qualitative method, and the result from the method that they have researched is that the teachers have changed their mindset to adapt to technology due to the continuous training that has been given by the Faculty of Education. So the conclusion from this article is cognitive dissonance theory, where the attitude of teachers have changed to adapt towards using technology in their education. It is influenced by the government that give training to them to use the technology. The second article is about analyzing the cognitive dissonance behavior of a customer before buying products in retail stores by author Dr. Bhavika R. Karkaral and Dr. Vanita Isaimani. And this research has conducted in India. So the situation is about Indian retail stores is growing rapidly, and they need to maintain it in order to gain more customers. To do that, they need to understand their customers by knowing their cognitive dissonance before purchasing a product. So the method that they use is structured questionnaires. And the result from the research that they have conducted is that most of the respondents choose brand image as their main factor in purchasing a product. It is influenced by how the product have marketed itself and the familiarity of it among the public. So the conclusion from this article is that consumers' behavior always change when it comes to products, and the brand image is their main choice in choosing a product. Is is because they have influenced by the marketing of their product.
I'm going to present for the article 3, which the topic is Are Depressed Individuals More Susceptible Towards to Cognitive Dissonance by Daniel R. Stelter and Kyle M. Anderson in 2014. The situation of this article is depression is associated with a sense of guilt, a lack of clarity, and less ability in reduced capacity to minimize unpleasant occurrence. Each of these traits predicts a person's sensitivity to cognitive dissonance manipulations. The methods have been used in this article is descriptive methodology and provide standardized questionnaires for the respondents. And the result from this research is only participants who were high depressed demonstrated the dissonance effect, meaning that only these participants' discomfort levels increased from low to high in consistency situations. In conclusion, it shows that how depression will adversely impact people's mental health. Next, for Article 4, the topic is an experimental test of cognitive dissonance theory in the domain of physical exercise by Nikos L. D. Chatzisarantis, Martin S. Hager, and John C. K. Wang in 2008. In this situation this study was done to learn more about how individuals feel about exercising. They are interested in finding out what causes individuals to think about physical activity differently. For this article, they're using two different methods, which is pilot study and main study. And the result from research shows that according to the findings, individuals in the free choice condition had higher favorable sentiments than those in the control and forced choice conditions. In conclusion, we can see that dissonance really has a bigger impact towards people's attitudes about exercise or doing physical activity.
Article 5, Smoking-related psychosocial benefit and justification among smokers in India, finding from tobacco control policy in space by Anupret Kesidu, Mangesh Petnika, Prakasita, and another researcher from BMC Public Health. This research is about Indian smokers' motive and behavior with regard to quitting. India has a serious public health problem with a tobacco usage, much like the great majority of other countries. People who smoke while being aware of the risk do so because it causes cognitive dissonance, an unpleasant emotional condition that motivates them to quit. From this research, researchers use a method of a survey to know what influence the cognitive dissonance among the smokers. So the result is smokers are more prone to change their opinions depending on their smoking status, but certain beliefs change more dramatically than others. And the conclusion is they define their behavior by emphasizing their mindset and views regarding quitting or not. The disconnect between people's ideas and behaviors result in them engaging in action to minimize unpleasant feelings. Article 6, drug addict and HIV sufferers cognitive dissonance after having physician in using antiretroviral therapy by Johannes Gendar and Benedictus Arnold Sumangsong from ResearchGate. This research is about HIV patients view themselves internally how they view antiretroviral therapy. In general, in this instance, the struggle an HIV patient face upon beginning ARV medication may be connected to their actual experience of being a drug addict and HIV patient who requires therapy. This research used a method interviewed by the researcher to know the situation about the patient and get know about what the patient having cognitive dissonance to do this therapy. And the result is informed approach to dealing with this condition all followed a similar pattern for relief their anxiety and fear because they had not begun therapy. So the conclusion, drug addicts' attitude in the therapy is related to their own action, difficulty to join the therapy, and so on. Patients face a conflict in their attitude, behavior, or belief in making a decision that causes cognitive dissonance, sensation, and emotion.
Article 7, Study of Cognitive Dissonance Theory and its Application to Today's Social Problems by Azizul Halim Yahya and B.D. Sukmayadi. The authors used thematic analysis where they read a set of journals and collected data and analyzed them. They did a research where presidential election where a voter feels confused about casting a vote simply because his family members have different opinions. This person chose to lie to his family regarding his decision in order to overcome the cognitive dissonance, admitting that he had voted for the same candidate. People want to be exposed to information that supports their beliefs rather than information that is opposite to their beliefs to avoid circumstances that could cause dissonance. The conclusion is The theory is applicable to all social circumstances in which a person's attitude is formed or evolves, and it is especially relevant to the process of making decisions. Through this study, the author found strategies on how to reduce dissonance. First strategy is by changing belief, even it is a drastic change. Second is trivialization, by covering the dissonance with more positive thoughts. Article 8. Cognitive dissonance when under pressure to cooperate by Dr. Mahmudi Supriyadi and Prof. Mahmud Shalihin. This article is about how a management accountant reacts when instructed to manipulate accounting data by the immediate manager. The authors used laboratory experiments to study this situation. Most participants tend to comply with directives to manipulate accounting. It is obvious that the subject who follows with the authority's directive to engage in accounting manipulation feels uncomfortable, while the person who responds to such an order typically feels secure in the choice they make. The conclusion is the uneasy emotion acts as a trigger for the person to experience cognitive dissonance. According to theory, those who experience cognitive dissonance feel uncomfortable.
The conclusion that we can get from this article review is that based on the 8 articles, a negative emotional response is produced when attitude and action are inconsistent and can be looked at from many perspectives in our daily life. We frequently experience dissonance when presented with two similar options because they both affect our attitudes and perception. From all the articles, we can conclude that all of them are suitable to use cognitive dissonance theory as a research method. Also, from this review, we found out that another situation can be related to use this theory, which is why people tend to eat meat but call themselves as environmentalists. To further our knowledge and understanding about cognitive dissonance theory, about people who do not want to eat meat because there are certain people who care about the life of animals and worry about the meat production of those animals such as chicken and cows. The research method that we use is an interview and a survey. From that, we can assume maybe there will be a contradiction between respondents who do not want to eat meat and respondents who want to eat meat. So that is all from our presentation.